My name is Peter Schmidt, and I'm coming from northern Germany in the small village of Gardenstedt, which is located near Hanover, and I am here for work. I come here once a week to work here because my home is 300 kilometers from here in a nice garden where I have my home, my family, my children, and where I have been born and where I feel home. And we are here in Frankfurt and in the main station area. From here I still have to take a commuter train to my place of work. And my work is in a pharmaceutical company as an IT specialist. So I am in the IT department of the company here, and previously I did a PhD in geophysics in the University of Kiel in northern Germany. In the end of the 90s years, there was a big hype on the IT market. Got an offer from this company where I'm still today, and that's 15 years ago. During development of career, of course, I was looking for getting more responsibility, and I received this responsibility, and I got the feedback from my bosses. Peter, your work is excellent. We are happy with you, and the customer, the internal customer, is happy with you. So we can always speak about rising your salary. There's one thing we cannot really speak of, that you get responsibility for people. We like you, we like your work, but you have to understand that you have problems in social relationship. And to give me this really a feedback, I was sent by this company to a numerous communication seminars, and thanks to this I have learned a lot. At the end, these seminars provide me the feedback, something is wrong with you, but I did not know what. And with 41 years old, by accident, I saw a TV movie where somebody was acting like me. I was there and thought instant recognition, this is me. The character was told has autism and type of Asperger's syndrome. And I was thinking, if this guy has autism and has Asperger's syndrome, you have to check in the internet what does that mean. And when I was reading through the term Asperger's syndrome, I discovered a long list of problems these persons encounter in their lives in social relationship and communication. And I discovered instantaneously this is exactly a description of my problems. So triggering me to consult a doctor, and at the end they said, yes, Peter, that's exactly you. Yes, I have no problems with recognizing my own feelings, and I think I have all feelings and all emotions that other people have. So that does mean I am not emotionless, but my feelings are triggered by other things. And maybe it's something very little, somebody takes away this. I have things that are important for me, which are not important for the others. On the other end, the others have things they say, for us it's important, Peter, and I say, why is it important? You understand? So the perception is different. I met my wife at the dentist. So I had to go to the dentist with a bad tooth. And while I was sitting in the chair of the dentist and the dentist was moving something in my mouth, she was there and I was looking at her and I was thinking, that could be your future wife. I do not know why this happened, but it was happening. And I had never a feeling like that before, because I was thinking, I don't know anything about her, but you have the strange feeling it could be your wife. And now I had the problem, the communication problem. And at the end, I was telling about the visits at my dentist to the woman where I have rented a room. And that was an old grandma type woman. And I told her my story. I have a problem, I don't know how to do that. The landlady who phoned the dentist researched contact information. And at the end, I took her phone and phoned her. And so that was the initial contact. And on a phone, facial expressions, of course, do not count. You only speak on the phone. And that was my chance to get in touch with her. But I had a problem. Initially, she said, Peter, I don't know you, you don't know me, why should we come together? And by the way, I'm believing in some kind of other God than you, and maybe it makes no sense. And a few months later, she phoned me. Now I believe in the same God than you, or I don't believe in any God. At least there's no longer the problem that we believe in different gods. And I was thinking, what does that mean? Do you phone me because you want to know me, or what does that mean? At the end, we agreed to meet. And then we came into touch, and I told her immediately I'm looking for a wife. Later on, Peter, your way of processing emotions seems to be completely different from me. I like you very much. I like your transparency, you're honest and everything like that, what I also like with her. But somehow you are strange, and you see very often you do not understand why I am feeling sad about something. And that you understand me better, I offer you to read my diary. And then I was reading this. Why are you scared about this and that? And I was looking at a completely different world. I caught something that for me is totally unimportant, for her is important. The way I was looking at somebody, for instance. And I was getting the entrance to a different way of seeing the world through her diary, and she, in the other direction, received through me a different way in thinking on looking at the world. And this was made somehow together. And I was lucky that there have been some general characteristics that we both liked each other, and that could develop the relationship. And finally, as you see, I also received children, and we made good trips to the symbol of love in India, for instance, with the whole family. This is 5 years ago already. Okay, from the very beginning, as a small child already, I was interested in what is beyond the horizon. I was 4 years old when I put this question to my father, and I discovered very soon that roads lead to all the places, and that I am living on a planet called Earth. When I became aware of that, I discovered the vision when I was 14 years old to drive all the long distance roads of the world and to see as much as possible what is possible of this world. You look at this map, everything which is in red indicates where I have been on land. Not by plane, not by sea, but on land. I was, for instance, in Brazil in 1992 and visited Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Curitiba, the Itaipu, and the Cataratas do Iguaçu. My children, when they became aware of that I am autistic, they said, okay, Dad, it's simply a word for something we all know already. My daughter has still a problem with it, or maybe even more a problem than she was young, because she's now in the age of 15, where emotions play a much more or bigger role than in the past. And of course she misses a little that I am not able to deliver emotions to her in that way she expects it. My son, it's different. My son also dreams of seeing the world and making some roads, and so I could share the one or the other adventure just with him. Then there's one question that I'm always asked for. How is it possible that an autistic guy who also on the one hand insists on having the same procedure every day, to make it some kind of routine behavior, makes this possible? How is that possible? And that is only possible by a method I have developed by myself to plan the flexibility. That means to create a plan A, B, C, D, E, and F, considering of all the cases that might happen en route, And indeed, if plane F even doesn't work anymore, I get in serious problems. I am there and I am blocked. We have already experienced just sitting in a car for 48 hours with my family. I didn't move anything because it was raining at a place where I didn't expect any rain and a place I wanted to see without rain. On the other hand, it's very surprising. So I had rented a car in India with my whole family, and the driver was rented in Delhi, including the driver, and he said, okay, I know Rajasthan and I know the north of India, but you want to go all India, you want to go also to Goa, I don't know the area. I said, no, don't care about that. This driver has only to drive the car. I tell him where he has to go. I told the driver where he has to drive, and he was always surprising. How is it possible that somebody who has never been here before knows all the roads? And this happens. I look on the map, put that in my mind, and then I have the orientation like a living GPS. Okay, the day after tomorrow, we're gonna meet again at the book fair in Frankfurt. Besides my work, I am also a writer, and I've written 2 books. The initial book I was writing was 1 year ago, A Valentine's Day Cactus, which is telling the story how I met my wife and how I grew up with my family, how I made my own family. And therefore I published a new book recently, The Boy from Saturn, telling my story, how I have perceived the world as a child. To title the book A Valentine's Day Cactus, because this really happened in my life when I met my girlfriend, and the first Valentine's Day in our relationship was coming up. I was thinking, what can I do? What kind of present is suitable for her? And I came to the conclusion it should be a cactus. And I came to this conclusion to tell her the story of me. I was feeling like a cactus. That means I was different from all the other flowers in the living room. To tell my wife the story that I have to be treated differently than the other flowers. And when I later told to my landlady about that, who was giving me some kind of advice how to make a girlfriend, she told me, oh my dear, you have done the, oh my dear, you gave her a cactus, and I was thinking, okay, that was the end of the relationship, but fortunately it was not. So my girlfriend was also very happy with the cactus. It's not a book about autism for me, it's simply my private love story that really happened. So there's nothing invented in the book. Everything that's inside this book really happened exactly as described. So this book now is, it's the second book I have written, but in the chronology of my life, it is the first book, because this book is the successor of this book in the storytelling. This book contains the story about the way I perceived the world when I was very young. When I look back into my early childhood, I remember mostly facts and structures, so colors of walls, streets, and cars, and beds, and tubes. I was very, very interested in tubes in all the houses I have seen, so I can tell you today about all the tube structures of the houses I have seen, including the hospital I was born in. But I did not remember, for instance, up to now when my sister was born. She was born 2 years later. There is absolutely no memory. And we also had a dog when I was very young. I know that from pictures. I don't remember this dog. That's very strange. So everything that is about people the memory is very poor, or anything that is moving, but fixed structures, this memory is very, very strong. Okay, in my book I also have included some photographs and pictures of my childhood, as you see here. But what is of interest is maybe to the public is the way I was making drawings when I was 10 years old. You see, I was not really recognizing faces, and I put that onto the paper. Instead of that, I was recognizing the structure of the wall. So if you put that very far away, you initially will see those things that are most important to me, but not very much important to the others, because for others the people are more important, the faces and the persons. And for me, persons were, I did not perceive in the right complete manner. And there's another example. I was already 16 years old when I was doing this drawing also at school. And the task from the teacher was draw yourself. So make a self-portrait. And I was ending up with this as a result. And that was the very moment when I became the boy of Saturn, because I depicted me somehow restricted in a wall, and I put to paper the feeling that I have to come from Saturn every day to attend school.
Ich bin Gertrud Wiedmann, Verlagsleiterin des Patmos Verlages, in dem Peter Schmidts Bücher erschienen sind. Ich fand es einfach grandios, wie er über sein Leben auch spricht und uns Einblick gibt darüber, also in dem ersten Band beispielsweise, wie er seine Frau gefunden hat, wie er einfach auch die Liebe entdeckt hat, wie er eine Familie gegründet hat. Das ist berührend. Jetzt haben wir Einblick in seine Kindheit. Da erfahren wir viel, wie Peter wurde, was er jetzt ist. Und ich kann Ihnen schon verraten, es wird einen dritten Band geben. Da schreibt er über sein Berufsleben. Auch das ist ja ganz ungewöhnlich. Ein promovierter Mensch, Dr. Peter Schmidt, der in seiner Firma unentbehrlich ist, mit seinen ganz, ganz speziellen Fähigkeiten.
Then I say bye-bye to Brazil. It was a pleasure to become part of this interview.